Some people can tell you're lying before you even finish the sentence. Not because they caught a specific detail, because something in the whole picture just didn't add up. Others take people at their word, not because they're gullible, but because they're not wired to look for the glitch. So today, we're ranking all 16 MBTI types by who can spot a lie instantly, from the types most likely to believe you, all the way to the ones who already know and are just watching to see how far you'll take it. Drop your type in the comments before we start. Some of you are about to feel very powerful. Others are about to realize you've been lied to more than you think. Let's get into it. Number 16, ESFJ. ESFJs lead with trust. They want to believe the best about people, and that genuine warmth is exactly what makes them easiest to deceive. It's not that they can't spot a lie, it's that their first instinct is never suspicion. I'm sure they had a good reason. A skilled liar doesn't need much to work with here. A little charm and a plausible story goes a long way. Number 15, ENFP. ENFPs are perceptive in flashes. They'll catch something that feels off and then immediately talk themselves out of it. I got a weird vibe, but maybe I'm reading too much into it. Their optimism works against them. They're more interested in who someone could be than in whether who they're presenting right now is even real. Number 14, ISFJ. ISFJs extend a lot of grace. They notice inconsistencies. They just assume there's an innocent explanation before they assume deception. Maybe they just forgot the details. Loyalty compounds this. The closer the relationship, the harder it is for an ISFJ to accept that someone they trust would lie to them directly.
Number 13, ESFP. ESFPs read energy well, but charismatic liars are also good at managing energy. So the same social awareness that serves ESFPs in most situations can get hijacked here. They seemed totally genuine though. If the lie comes wrapped in confidence and good vibes, an ESFP might not look past the surface long enough to catch it. Number 12, ENFJ. ENFJs read people deeply. Emotional undercurrents, hidden tension, unspoken feelings. Where they're vulnerable is in how much they want those readings to be wrong when it involves someone they care about. I sensed something was off, but I didn't want to assume the worst. They have the tools to catch it. Trusting what they're picking up is the harder part. Before we get into the top half, there's a type coming up that spots lies almost effortlessly, but their method is going to surprise you. They don't use intuition or people reading at all. They use pure logic like a stress test. Let's keep going. Number 11, INFP. INFPs have a strong internal alarm for inauthenticity. When something feels false, it registers almost immediately, not as a logical conclusion, but as a values-level reaction. Something felt off, but I didn't want to be unfair to them. The instinct is usually right. Trusting it over their own second-guessing is the harder part. Number 10, ISFP. ISFPs are quietly perceptive. They pick up on subtle shifts in tone, energy, and behavior, and they file it away without saying a word. I noticed, I just didn't say anything yet. They're less likely to confront a lie in the moment and more likely to just stop trusting that person, slowly, quietly, and permanently.
Number 9, ESTJ. ESTJs track what people say over time. Inconsistencies don't slip past them. They get logged. That's not what you told me last time. Where they're occasionally vulnerable is with a confident, well-prepared liar who has their story straight. A lie that's logically consistent is harder for them to catch than one that openly contradicts itself. Number 8, ESTP. ESTPs watch what people do more than what they say, and when those two things don't match, they notice immediately. The story checks out, you don't. They're not always looking for a lie, but they're hard to fool in real time. Their read on people is fast, instinctive, and usually accurate. Number 7, ENTP. ENTPs are natural interrogators. They ask follow-up questions that seem casual but are specifically designed to find the crack in the story. Interesting. So walk me through that part again. They almost enjoy catching a lie more than they're bothered by it. Once they find the inconsistency, they'll pull the thread just to watch the whole thing unravel. Less about justice, more about the satisfaction of being right. Number 6, INFJ. INFJs operate on pattern recognition that runs deeper than conscious analysis. They're not always able to explain what tipped them off. They just know. I can't point to anything specific. I just don't believe them. The one limitation is self-doubt. When a liar is emotionally convincing, INFJs can second-guess their own signal. But when they trust it, they're almost never wrong.
We're now in the top 5. This is where it gets interesting. And one thing you'll notice in this top group is that catching a lie and confronting it are two completely different skills. Some of these types will call you out immediately. Others will quietly realize you're lying and never trust you the same way again. Hit like and subscribe if you're enjoying this. We do this every week.
Number 5, ISTJ. ISTJs have an internal record of everything you've ever told them. Dates, details, exact wording, it's all stored. So when a story shifts even slightly, they catch it. You said Tuesday last time, now it's Thursday. Which is it? They're not dramatic about it. They just quietly note the discrepancy and update their trust level accordingly. Liars who think they've gotten away with something around an ISTJ often find out much later that they haven't. Number 4, ISTP. ISTPs watch behavior the way an engineer watches a system, scanning for anything that shouldn't be there. And when they catch a lie, most people never know they've been caught. ISTPs don't tip their hand. They go quiet, they observe, and they let the liar keep talking. Keep going, this is getting interesting. That composure is actually a detection tool. The more rope they give, the more the story falls apart on its own. Cold, methodical, and quietly devastating. Number 3, INTP. This is the type that was hinted at earlier, and here's why it makes sense. INTPs don't just notice when a story doesn't add up. They reconstruct the entire logical framework of what they were told and stress test every single part of it. If that were true, then this other thing you said couldn't also be true. They're not running on gut feeling, they're running on internal consistency checking. A lie has to be airtight from every angle to get past an INTP. Most lies aren't. Most people aren't even aware of all the places their story contradicts itself. An INTP is. Number 2, INTJ. INTJs aren't just listening to what you're saying, they're cross-referencing it against everything they already know about you, the situation, and what a truthful version of this story would actually look like. The details are right, the sequence is wrong. Try again. They don't react when they catch it either, which is its own kind of unsettling. They sit with the knowledge, watch to see if you dig deeper, and decide what to do with it on their own timeline. By the time an INTJ lets you know they caught the lie, they've already figured out why you told it. And finally, topping our list at number 1, ENTJ. ENTJs catch lies the way a prosecutor builds a case, methodically, deliberately, and without showing their hand until they're ready. They ask precise questions, they listen carefully to the answers, and they file every inconsistency away until the picture is complete. I've been waiting for you to finish. Now let me tell you what actually happened. What makes ENTJs the best in this group is that they don't just catch the lie, they understand the motive behind it. They're not just asking what isn't true, they're asking why someone needed you to believe it. And that second question is what separates good lie detection from exceptional lie detection. So, where did your type land? Drop it in the comments and be honest. Have you ever caught someone in a lie and just said nothing? Watched them keep going? Tell us how that played out. If you enjoyed this, like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. We do this every week. And remember, the best lie detectors in the room usually aren't the ones asking the most questions. They're the ones who stopped talking and started watching a long time ago.